When I tell you Wall Street is asleep at the wheel when it comes to Tesla, I think today demonstrates this probably the best of any day. You just had some huge news come out and Tesla's stock didn't react at all. That's why I think it's very important that you guys watch these videos and you understand how important this news is, because Wall Street just doesn't get it. Eventually, Wall Street will realize all of this good news probably at once, and your opportunity to buy Tesla stock at very cheap prices is going to be over. Before we get into this huge news, and there's a lot of big news today, I was surprised for a Monday to get this much news. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and let's start with some quote-unquote bad news. Seriously, like this news right here shows you just how clueless Wall Street really is. They're chasing the next big thing. Nvidia, let me tell you, that's played out in my personal opinion. Is it going to 10x from here? Probably not. Could Tesla 10x from here? Quite easily, in my personal opinion, given what we're seeing, but that's really a topic for another video. Here's the news. Mizuho analyst Vijay Rakesh has lowered his Tesla price target to $195 from $270 and downgraded the stock to a hold from a buy. I would say that's a little late, but he does say, quote, "While we remain constructive on the broader EV landscape with a long-term trend to electrification, near-term EV demand and tightening liquidity are creating challenges into 2025, Rakesh said. Considering this huge downgrade, Tesla stock's actually up about 1.5% on the day. I think the bad news is played out as well at this point. Like, what are you really going to get from an analyst that is new information? Nothing. This is not new information, what Rakesh here is saying. But what is new, and is very new, Wall Street still hasn't figured it out, FSD and Optimus are taking off at light speed. And that's actually the big news that I want to share with you here in this video. And there's really a couple different big pieces of news. So let's start with number one. Tesla is seeking a service technical writer to create user guides for its humanoid robot Optimus. This happens when you're getting very close to launching a product for sale. This is not something that happens in the beginning or middle phase of a product. This is a late stage product. Now, I think a lot of people, especially big Wall Street analysts, they missed this on the earnings call. Elon Musk said they would probably start shipping out Optimus in small batches to buyers by the end of this year. That was a lot faster than I expected, and it looks like, based on this news, you're on track for that. At the bare minimum, by the end of this year, it would suggest you're going to start seeing Optimus being shipped to customers. Of course, this is not going to be revolutionary for Tesla's top line revenue or bottom line profits, at least at first, but it does open up a whole new door of revenue and eventual profitability for Tesla. Again, there is a lot of uncertainties here, like what would Optimus cost? If it is truly going to replace workers, is there a hourly rate? Is there a leasing program for these bots? Is it just a flat rate for these robots? What would that rate be? Would it be $250,000? Would it be discounting, let's say, the robot lasts 10 years expected? What would the salary be of replacing the robot with a person? How much of that is discounted based on productivity? There's a whole lot of different details we don't know, and I'm sure we get some clarity on this in the next quarter or two. But I believe, unfortunately, Wall Street is asleep at the wheel in regards to Optimus and FSD, because Elon said just very clearly, they cannot share as many details as they would like to on their AI endeavors, because competitors just come out and try to copy whatever they're doing, and well, that's not good for Tesla. So for the first time in a long time, I can say if you are watching this video, you are way ahead of people that have more money and more generalized information than you do. And that's pretty dang rare on Wall Street, especially with a company the size of Tesla. Here is some other huge news today and a real shift in the way that Tesla is trying to sell full self-driving. Keep in mind, every single car comes with hardware for full self-driving. So Tesla realizes that hit, if you will, to margins when they make the vehicles. That's included in the COGS, the cost of goods sold. It's already built into all the cars. So when people opt to turn the software on, essentially, it's like 100% gross margins. And that's why the Robotaxi Network and full self-driving can be so accretive to profitability, because the cars are already outfitted with the gear necessary to run full self-driving. Elon Musk sent this email out to all Tesla employees at 2 o'clock in the morning last night. He says, going forward, it is mandatory in North America to install and activate full self-driving V12 3.1 and take customers on a short test ride before handing over the car. Almost no one actually realizes how well supervised FSD actually works. I know this will slow down the delivery process, but it is nonetheless a hard requirement. Now, why is this so interesting? Well, a lot of people, they're never going to experience FSD from someone they know. Let's just be honest. If 10% of the Tesla fleet has FSD, out of that, how much of the percentage, maybe 3%, 4%, 5%, are actually going to show someone FSD on their Tesla? Maybe that percentage is going to be higher now. The FSD is, this latest update is working insanely well. But if you expose everyone and give everyone a taste of FSD and it works this well, and Elon is this confident to show everyone buying a Tesla in North America, that can logically lead to more sales of FSD and more bottom line profits for Tesla. The other reason why I think this is impactful is maybe a little bit more obvious, but Elon is showing a lot more confidence in FSD and the product itself. If he's as confident to say that you have to show everyone how good this product is, I think you're getting closer and closer to the launch of the Robotaxi Network. The eventual launch of the Robotaxi Network, I initially thought was going to be a wide release, but now I'm starting to believe it's going to be city by city, at least at first. San Francisco, Phoenix, Las Vegas, the areas that actually have like a Waymo already operating there. It should be relatively easy to get the application process through and approved in cities that already have robotaxis operating in. And I think this is the biggest catalyst for Tesla's business that you'll ever see. Let's be honest. Robotaxis, that is what you were investing for, or investing in Tesla for, back in 2021 when Tesla was at all-time highs. The main thesis, go back and watch videos on CNBC about Tesla back in, October, November, December of 2021. It was all about the Robotaxi network that was coming over the next couple of years. The only difference now is rates are higher. You have to discount longer term earnings, but you have seen so much improvement in FSD since then. If you were bullish on Tesla at all-time highs for the Robotaxi network, I think you should be uber bullish, no pun intended, ultra bullish on Tesla stock now, given the improvements that you are on the ground seeing with FSD and Tesla being no longer compute constrained. And FSD now running on no code, but on neural net networks, end-to-end neural nets. It's all about compute at this point. That part of the equation is solved. It's only a matter of time. Over the next couple of years, Tesla's profits are going to explode a lot faster than Wall Street is currently expecting. And that's truly where you get the upside in Tesla stock. And good news is Tesla stock is currently priced as if there is at least one asteroid hurtling towards one of Tesla's mega factories, either Texas or Shanghai. At least that is seemingly how the stock looks to be priced, given it's fallen over 30% year to date in just 2024. Meaning that the bad news is likely already priced in, and once Wall Street really realizes all of the good news we have seen with Tesla over the past really just couple of months, the stock's probably going much higher. I would imagine even in 2024. 2025 is when I'm expecting the bigger boom boom candles, but 2024 towards the end of the year could also be quite juicy. In other news, this guy, Peru Saxena, he is a retired money manager / founder of money management firms in Hong Kong. He has 351.6 thousand followers. Check this out. He has been a longtime bear of Tesla, and that is because he thought a lot of good news was priced into the stock. Well, he says today, AI plus autonomous driving plus humanoids equals Tesla. Optimus likely to become a huge business. RAAS will be a high margin / recurring revenue business. Disclosure, he is now long Tesla. Dean comments under this and he says, when do you think Tesla has its first paid robotaxi ride? I feel it could happen this year or next. He says Optimus likely comes before the robotaxi fleet. And that's exactly what Elon said on the earnings call, that Optimus was coming relatively soon. By the end of this year, we would start to see shipments. Now, I believe the Robotaxi Network will dramatically outpace Optimus, at least initially. Optimus really needs to be for the mass market. That's the thing that I want you guys to understand here. FSD could be applicable to anyone in a developed nation. Now, FSD is not going to be on back roads of India, where they don't even have superchargers, where electric vehicles and electricity is scarce. Of course not. In China, or most parts of China, Europe, the US, Canada, really South Africa, Japan, Korea, markets that are developed or developed enough, anyone can have full self-driving at that point, right? It could be applicable to billions of people around the world. Optimus, I think, is going to be applicable to everyone in the world eventually. Once you're to the point where you have multiple functions for Optimus, it can help you around the house, it can mow your yard for you, it can do all these different kinds of tasks, take care of your old family member, whatever, the reason is. Instead of going to a nursing home, you can have your Optimus bot in the house. That could make a lot of sense, right? There's a lot of potential use cases. That's further down the line. I think the Robotaxi Network in mass market form comes first, but Optimus on a small scale to other companies like an Amazon or a FedEx warehouse type work, Optimus could be coming first. And that's likely by the end of this year. And I do believe the Robotaxi Network starts to be deployed over the next 12 to 24 months. Just at this current rate of progress that we're seeing in FSD, let alone if things ramp even further from here, and that looks likely. This individual also comments and says option selling with Christian, that's his name. He says, are you just now figuring this out about Tesla? He says, no, I've been patiently waiting for the stock to come down and have finally invested last week. And let me just tell you, I am buying every single share I can get my hands on of Tesla stock right now. The risk to reward is off the chain. I cannot find anything that has a better risk to reward than Tesla right now. Ron comments and says, what value do you ascribe today to Optimus? He says the whole company can be worth 3 to 5 trillion within 10 years, and that's just his 2 cents. And if things do go as we think, even 5 trillion could be on the low side. If FSD and Optimus are really applicable to every developed household in the world, let's be honest, everyone needs to drive a car. Everyone could benefit from Optimus in a fully formed, fully developed scale. You could be looking at a lot higher of a market cap value for Tesla by then. That's just my 2 cents. And just to put a little bit of context behind this, if Tesla stock 10x from here, 1,000% return from here, that would put the market cap at about $5.4 trillion. So you could be looking at a 20, 30, 40, 50x over the next 10 to 20 years. I think a 10x could be relatively easy again if things go according to kind of the longer term plan of Tesla. And for most people, a 10x alone, just not even to mention a 20x plus, could be a life-changing amount of money. So with my views on this, I have to buy the dip in Tesla as long as this dip does last. And really anything under $200 per share is a very attractive buying point. If you guys want to see every time I buy Tesla, every time I trade Tesla options, every time I trade other stocks or other options and other stocks, check out that link down below in the description of this video. This is the smaller portfolio that I'm trying to build up now. And just to keep it clean, I invest a lot in Tesla, but I do keep other stocks in here as well. Average cost now, $211 per share, down about $2,100, about 18%, with a market value of about $9,600. And I'm not going to be asleep at the wheel. If Wall Street is, fine on them. But I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be the guy that did not buy Tesla when I seen all of the improvements in front of my face and just let the stock go up again. Let the stock go to all-time highs. I'm not gonna be that guy. But this is what I'm doing, and it's not financial advice. Now, don't even get me started on the potential of Tesla's latest endeavor. Now, this was actually announced a couple of months ago, but progress on this site has been incredible, and it's the diner. If you go to a supercharger and you're sitting there for 20, 30 minutes, however long you sit there and charge, depending on obviously how low your battery is, you probably want to be able to go into a convenience store, be able to maybe watch a movie or get something to eat. This could be another big source of revenue for Tesla that Wall Street's, again, just missing out on. If Tesla starts to deploy these relatively inexpensive diners or convenience stores, I think that could be a big business for Tesla down the line as well. And really, it looks like in just a month or two, this thing's probably going to be operational. If this is successful, I would expect a larger rollout and more of them to come. And when I say, again, relatively inexpensive, couple $100,000, maybe, just depends. Obviously, California is going to be a little bit more expensive, but I know Michigan standards, you could put one of these things in and it wouldn't be that expensive. You're not talking about millions and millions of dollars here. CATL is working on faster charging batteries for Tesla. That's another thing that really keeps some people away. If you don't charge at home and you're not able to charge at home and keep people away from electric vehicles, is just the overall charging speed. What does it take you 3 to 5 minutes to fill up your gas tank? If you get down to that on charging or something a little, 10 minutes, 8 minutes, something along those lines, that's when you start to get an even larger market share for electric vehicles. You also need to get more chargers out on the road, but charging speed is definitely another important factor. Now, Zhang also confirmed that CATL is supplying machinery to Tesla's factory in Nevada. Here on the day today, sentiment around Tesla is actually bearish, which again, I think highlights the importance of watching these videos, not just my videos, but other videos as well on Tesla to stay up to date with what's actually going on. Because if you don't, then you might be bearish. You might say, wow, Tesla's only up 1.6%. Look at other stocks that are doing much better. Tesla's obviously doing good today or decent, but other stocks are flying much more than Tesla, but Tesla's actually seen some really good news today. Today, you're bearish with sentiment at 42. Yesterday, you were neutral at 48, so a little bit worse there. Message volume is categorized as normal at 45. Yesterday was at 35, which was low, so definitely better there today as well. And the participation ratio is actually creeping higher, so despite the lower sentiment, slightly higher, but yet normal message volume, you're seeing more retail accounts talking about Tesla, and that is what is represented here in the participation ratio, and that's overall good news. If you see more accounts talking about Tesla, likely more potential buyers looking at buying Tesla. Tesla continues to run about 4,000 different ads via Google. We know Tesla's now advertising on Facebook and to some degree on TikTok as well. So Tesla's probably running 6,000-7,000 ads in total. And who knows, this could help boost sales for Tesla, but it really does help get more brand exposure out there for Tesla. Google Trends data continues to pick up for really the entire Tesla lineup. It's down a little bit. The data is actually not finalized, but overall the trend has been very much up to the right for the Cybertruck, for the Model Y, and for the Model 3. Now, the Model 3 has been the most searched model for Tesla for a while here, really since the start of February. The Model 3 has been around 37. The Model Y recently went from 32, now at 36. Briefly, it looks like overtaking the Model 3. We'll see how long that lasts. And the Cybertruck's just been on a tear. It looks like everyone is starting to realize, or not everyone, but people that see the Cybertruck are starting to say, what is that? And they're searching about it. You've seen the Cybertruck search trends go from 19 now to 35. And this is all what I would say organic search trend activity based on auto shows, based on people seeing the Cybertruck. From what I hear, if you have a Cybertruck, you're kind of like a mini celebrity. When you drive the thing, at least you are a celebrity. Everyone's trying to take pictures, looking at it, checking it out, talking about it. I find in no world ever you will have a product this polarizing that will not overall just benefit the whole business. I don't think that's ever happened before. Model Y inventory numbers sitting at about 7,300, still at some of the highest points you've ever been at. So that's not that great, but I think there's a logical reason for this, considering Tesla's raising prices by $1,000 on my birthday on April 1st. You would expect that wouldn't happen if there was some kind of demand problem or if there was excess inventory. You may expect quite the opposite, Tesla to actually cut prices. The Model X, Model 3, and Model S inventories are all very low, sitting at about 1,000 for the Model 3, Model S, and about 1,700 for the Model X. Option activity today from hedge funds and institutions via the interesting flow sentiment is as followed. 529 different trades, totaling $113.05 million with a positive order value of 43%. We'll see where the numbers are by the end of the day. Things are going to update and we'll get a better number, a higher number, but so far, not a lot of option trades from hedge funds and institutions, and slightly on the bearish side. If a positive order value of 50% is neutral, 43% slightly bearish. You have recently seen the short interest also rise in Tesla, may turn out to be a remarkably poor time to short Tesla if Tesla does indeed rise from here, but you do have about 3.5% of the float that is currently sold short, with $16.37 billion currently in short positions. If Tesla stock does rise from here, you're going to see shorts start to take billions of dollars worth of losses in a short amount of time. Here on the day today, you do have the percent of stocks above their 50-day moving average up about 0.5%. What that means is about 0.5% of all stocks out there on the markets today broke above their 50-day moving average. Now, the total amount of stocks that are above their 50-day moving average is almost 57%. So for context, your very bullish broad-based market rally really ended on December 28th when about 86% of stocks were above their 50-day moving average. If you're not above your 50-day moving average, you're not in an uptrend. You are in a downtrend. So it's basically still a coin flip here. And I believe the data coming out this week, even tomorrow, could help to get a larger market rally going. We'll have to wait and see. I know the markets are closed on Friday. That's when we get the big data. We get another speech from Powell. So it's going to make next week that much more interesting. But you could be set up in a favorable way here, especially considering the Fed is now your friend and Jerome Powell just basically went full bull. This rally that we are seeing in Tesla stock today and some of your other interest rate sensitive names is a little bit more notable because your 10-year treasury yield is actually up about 3.5 basis points today, which normally interest rate sensitive stocks, they don't rally when interest rates go up. But you can see the Russell 2000 is up 0.5%. And if the Fed, Jerome Powell, truly did just go super dovish, super bullish for markets, and they're now a friend to the markets, well, I think you have some catch up to do in the Russell 2000. As I mentioned in the last video, specifically with Tesla, looking at the stock on a technical basis, you're in between a rock and a hard place. Really, if you look at the charts, you need to get above this trend line here to the upside for the bulls. That would be around 176, closer to about 177 or so. If that happens, you could be set up for a larger run to the upside. To the contrary, if you fall from here and you get under about 161 or so, then you could be setting yourself up for a gap to fill down to about 147. So I don't really have any clear direction from the technicals right now on Tesla. I will say you did really get a nice 2-day bottom around 160. You touched that, and you obviously got a lot of demand coming in at that area, and you've started to go into a mini uptrend. So I guess you do have a slight bullish skew to the chart. It's not like you're hitting new lows right now, but you're just not strong enough to confidently say Tesla stock is going back to the 190s, which would be the next level above this trend line. So you get above the trend line, could be a nice entry point for a larger kind of swing trade if that's what you guys are into. Personally, Tesla's a little too unpredictable for me to go into any kind of swing trade, at least right now, on really either direction. But if that's something you're into, you get above 176, 177, I think you're golden for more upside. And again, to the downside, anything under 161 or so, and you're looking at larger downside. I will say good news is for the bulls that are hoping for a larger rally in Tesla. Again, my opinion, I want the stock to go as low as possible while Wall Street is asleep at the wheel so I can buy as many shares as possible. Meaning I would love Tesla to go back to 120, 130, 140, 150. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. If it does, fantastic. I'll mortgage the houses or something and buy as many shares as possible, because I don't think you will lose at that price. Like indefinitely, I don't think you'll lose that price, my personal opinion. But I know a lot of people just want Tesla stock to rally, so really that key level is about 176, 177. The RSI is currently at 41.63, so again, a nod to the bulls there. You're not even at neutral. Tesla stock is still on the oversold side, so just to get back to neutral, you likely get into the 180s, and neutral will be at 50 on the RSI, and the RSI looks pretty good, so we'll see what happens there. The MACD also did cross above the signal line, so when the yellow line breaks above the blue line, it tends to lead into larger rallies for Tesla. You could see the last time this happened was on February 7th. What happened to Tesla stock after February 7th? The stock did proceed to rally. I want to be a little more precise on this. From the low of February 7th to the high that you've seen on February 27th, I believe, you rallied about 13%. So we'll see what happens. Currently, if we get roughly something similar to that and the MACD crossed over Friday, from the low of Friday, if we were to rally about 13%, that would put you back to about 188, which is exactly this trend, this line I have drawn here, and that would be the gap to fill, essentially, where you gap down on March 4th. So definitely looking at a greater chance of upside from here, but it really just depends. We have some big catalysts on the near-term horizon, like Tesla's delivery numbers coming on April 2nd, and then Tesla's earnings, which should be around April 17th. I don't think Tesla has confirmed this date yet, but that is the estimated date. So let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Again, if you guys want to come trade with us, check out that link down below in the description of this video and come be a part of the action on X. It's Michael Tyler over there. Pretty easy to find, and that also costs you absolutely nothing to do and will just help keep you more informed on a day-by-day, minute-by-minute, or hour-by-hour basis. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.